Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Annetta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out on Friday, which is pretty good because we had like a combo order. But yeah, things are going okay so far in December. So yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it. This right here is a playmat for a character in I believe, a Steamforged game called Artesia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. What is it? Aristay? Yeah, I guess I'm not sure. I've always like seen the name of the game in front of me. I've never said it out loud. Artesia. I feel like it's Artesia. Oh well, whatever. But this is gonna be a playmat for the character, one of the characters in the miniature game, I believe. So yeah, this is a game that they made Guild Ball, and I think they were trying to make like a more like a cheaper box version of kind of Guild Ball. And I think this is a playmat for a character in the game. I think. So yeah, I always pick up like the interesting board game, miniature game playmats. They don't always sell super fast, but when someone wants them, they want them. This sold for $14.87 plus shipping. We do plus shipping on everything, so I'll just save us a bunch of time right now. All right, next up is a pretty cool combo order. There's a little bit to talk about it. So first off, these are a bunch of Dark Age Feudal Lords cards. So this was a card game. I don't know. You probably can't see. I'm just going to go through a bunch of these. These are just rares. I think there's 9 of them. But this card game was supposed to have 3 sets, I believe, when I looked it up on CCG Trader, the website. And then they ended up only having 1 set. So this is the 1 set. So this is all you can get for the game if you want to play it. And yeah, these are a bunch of rares. We sold to this person before. We sold them like 1 rare that they wanted. They paid a little bit off for it. It was like $15 or $20 or 12 or whatever we agreed upon at the time, like a month ago. And they told me like the other rare and unique cards that they were looking for, because I do tell them like, hey, I keep an eye out for dead card game stuff. Is there anything specific should be looking for this? And they sent me a list of cards, so I have it in our messages. I think it'll eventually disappear. All right, I'm rambling now. But yeah, they ended up almost not getting their package, or like the post office scanned it early, and then like they were like, hey, the post office said they delivered it. I didn't get it. Can you let me know if you know anything on your end? Because it was the eBay standard envelope tracking, I guess that they were trying to like copy paste it into the USPS website, but you have to actually go on like in the eBay sale and like actually look at the eBay standard envelope tracking, which is really good. And it showed that like everything was normal with the tracking. There was no like on holds, there was no delays, there was no periods where it didn't get scanned. So I let them know that I was like, hey, it's probably like one of these 5 things, right? So like someone could have stolen it, a friend, a neighbor, a roommate, someone nearby could have accidentally grabbed it and they're going to give it to you. It might be at the bottom of your pile of mail. It might be in your mailbox. Yeah. So, yeah, but then they ended up sending a bunch of lower offers on all of these cards right here. And I ended up taking the offer. They ended up getting the package, by the way. But yeah, they ended up taking the offer. I had a lot of these listed for like $15 or like $10. I think a lot of them we sold on for $5 or for $8 each. So this ended up being, let's see, $54, which is pretty good for repeat buyer. So yeah, normally I wouldn't go that low on the stuff that I have listed higher, but that time I thought it was okay because it was a repeat buyer, and 54 is pretty good. We got all of the dead card game stuff for auction from this big box for like $11. I don't know, people just don't really care about dead card games, or they don't respect them or something. I'm not sure, but I find them fairly often. All right, next up is a DC Comics Aquaman playing card deck right here. So I always just pick up playing card decks. It's just like a thing I like to do and sell on eBay. They're not always crazy. I have sold some for like $30, $40, $50. This one is just for $6. So yeah, when I do get them, I get them for cheap. I don't want to really pay up for them, but yeah, I'll even sell them used or new. All right, next up is lots of these military like Jeep and trailer, I guess like bits and pieces. I mean, not fully bits and pieces, but they're not like 100% complete. This ended up selling to a repeat buyer for $17.84. I think this person grabbed another set of these that I had. I also got a big box of these at auction. I think I did pay up for that bin. It was like 28 bucks or something. So when I broke down all the different lots, I wrote down individually what I paid for each lot, or I tried to like make it make sense. Like the bigger lots, I put more money towards them. This was $6 for this. That's like what we paid for it. Wasn't the best buy from the auction, but still profited, and they were very easy to list. All right, moving along. This was actually a return we got, but then I relisted them. Someone bought these female zombie apocalypse survivor miniatures on the sprues, and then there was also these like vixens that they bought together. They ended up returning them. They didn't really have a good reason other than like they said that they were broken, which are not when I inspected them. Everything's still in the sprue. There's nothing broken. So I think I think it was just buyer's remorse. We do get like a good amount of returns occasionally. It doesn't really bother us. Like you want to have it on because then people, when they're buying your stuff, especially when it's like bits and pieces, they want to have the safety in their mind of purchasing something from you. So yeah, I have like a pile of our returns in the other room. But then usually when I relist them, because they sold once, they sell again. So yeah, this ended up selling for $17.49, which I think is more than when we originally took an offer for, I think it was like 13 or 14 for these. So sold these again. Hopefully they're not cursed. There was this one item that we had a long time ago that I think he got like returned like 4 times. And it was like something that wasn't like a broken item or something that like can't basically break. It was like a play mat or something. I don't remember exactly what the item was. I just remember it was cursed where I was just done with it. I think I like threw it out at one point. It was just so insane. All right, moving along. We have, I know people probably go through situations like that. Usually we're like, when a bad thing happens, it comes in threes, they say, and it just feels like it's true. All right, next up is a Pathfinder, I think this is Citadel of Pain. I think these are going to be a bunch of little maps that like help you go through like your campaign. I think, yeah, it's called by Gaming Paper. Gaming Paper does a lot of RPG stuff. They basically just make these kind of disposable maps or like scenarios or campaigns. So this is probably just maps in a campaign together. This sold for $8.82. The person sent us a message saying it was going to be a gift. So to make sure to put like cardboard when we ship it, which we already do. So that was no problem to accommodate them. All right, next up is going to be a strategy guide book, Heroes of Might and Magic Part 2. This is a PC strategy guide book. There's some like damage on it. It's mostly like, oh, there's like the sticker residue, which is not sticky anymore. And then there's going to be like edge wear on the cover. And there's like, it's not too bad, honestly. If someone just wants to open up and read it, the pages are good inside. You see that we get strategy guide books at a medium uncommon rate. I do like listing them. They're pretty easy. This sold for $12. That's about what we get from them, usually like 8 to 15, but unless if it's like a super rare game or a super collectible one. But I'll grab anything that helps people complete their collections or their PC games or video games, like any kind. I'll always pick it up, boxes, little sheets, like advertisements all the time. I'll grab them. All right, I'm running out of breath. Moving along, we have a lot of 40K miniature bits and pieces. If you've been watching for like at least a month or two, these have been like selling like fire for us. This sold for $17.49. It was crazy because I was at the storage unit today grabbing this, and I had it in a big bag of these were the Tyranids. Sorry, these are the Tyranids, like the little aliens with like scythes and stuff. I had it in a big bag with all these little like baggies labeled, and that today there was only a couple left. So I was like, oh wow, like, I mean, I have other baggies for the other factions and stuff, but it's just been good. I don't know. I was happy for it. All right. Moving along, we have another small combo order. These are just Monster Apocalypse by Privateer Press when they were a collectible game and already pre-painted. So these are 2 little apes for the ape faction right there. What's the faction called? Empire of the Apes. There you go. Not too fancy. It looks like they're like an uncommon and a common, I think, because they have like a star system. And then these 2 are from the Subterranean Uprising, which are kind of like, I want to say like dinosaur robot things, maybe a little bit buggish. These are Moloch mortars. One's a 1-star, one's a 3-star. So I think one's going to be like elite, the 3 stars, the other one's a common. These sold for $13.40 for just the pair. I got a bunch of Monster Apocalypse stuff. I think that box is also like $8 or $10 for a bunch of that stuff at auction. These are all games that just like have different versions at this point or have been dead, but you can still like buy the pieces and play the game a lot cheaper than when it first came out because you don't have to pay a premium for like buying like new booster packs or starter sets. So it's pretty cool that like people still enjoy them and still can. You know, it's just because they stop making stuff doesn't mean people can't play the game. All right, next up is going to be an RPG book. This is Mean Streets right here. This is by Blood Shadows. It's like a campaign pack. I don't know anything about it other than I was just reading off what was on the front. But yeah, we get a lot of these interesting RPG books. We used to get a bunch more years ago. We haven't gotten any in a while, so these are just kind of like the stragglers that are selling. Which one? This is where you were born, Mean Streets? Oh, okay. I was like, what are you talking about? I was so confused. All right. This sold for $9.90. You caught me off guard. All right. Next up is maybe a mistake. So I'll talk about it. You can do well with this kind of stuff. This is Kingdom Death Monster Temple Run Explorer First Run like Collector's Edition. So this is going to be a miniature. The brown boxes are like the collectible ones for Kingdom Death. It is a massive like post-apocalyptic like survival board game with a huge deep campaign, and you have to build all the miniatures. and then they keep up basically making it a living. The designers, they make these like brown box figures. They sell a ton of them. Usually they're not like, you don't want to play with them in the game because they'll like make the material where there's more details. I forget like which material. It gets pretty fancy with miniatures, but it'll be like more delicate. Yeah, more delicate like details and stuff, so you can paint it better and it's easier to paint, but then you probably don't want to play them on a board. So you can actually purchase these whenever they go on sale. And honestly, if like, I don't recommend this, but if you have like a ton of money to burn and you want to like invest in like a collectible where you're not planning on using it, you want to flip them, you can do that with Kingdom Death stuff. People probably get mad at me for saying that, but there's so many people that do it. So I play the game. I have the base game. I have the expansion pack. I have the Gambler's Chest. I have the Black Friday deal that I got like years ago, literally 7 years ago or 10 years ago. I bought like a couple of shirts in these. Well, this was done, and I got when I've seen 25 eBay, probably $1 a color. It was like freaking eBay. It doesn't bother me. Like I'm glad to, honestly, I'm glad to get the money back, even if I lost $1 for like a personal item like that or something. It doesn't bother me too much. We don't lose money often on items. Like, it's really rare. All right, next up is going to be Battlestar Galactica Complete Omnibus version 1 right here. So yeah, people like Battlestar Galactica. An omnibus is just gonna be like a bunch of comics put together and in a thicker format. So this sold for $6, nothing too crazy. As I've talked about on the channel before, I don't know too much about comics, but I grab them when they're cheap. So, yep. All right, and then the last thing for the day is this little miniature kit, Easy Builder US Coast Guard Cutter right here. It's just like a little plastic ship. It had the box. I opened it up, took pictures of all the pieces inside. They were still in the sprues. I had the instruction booklet. So yeah, I get a lot of these little like random miniature kits. I get them incompletes, completes, open box, new, not new. Doesn't matter. I do pretty well with them. I've had like, I think I've had 0 issues, and now I probably just jinxed it all. So knock on wood with miniature stuff like this. This sold for $13.99. I'm out of breath. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to help support us, take a look at the shop down below. But also, everyone have a good weekend.